Alright, what's going on, everybody? We are live for the Gamblers and the Aviators here in Week 6 of the UFL. Game started a few minutes ago. We've got 9 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Right now, the Aviators play 3rd and 2 from the 8-yard line, and they're going to hand it off straight ahead, and John Lovett's got the first down. To the 5-yard line, we 1st and goal for the Aviators. But welcome to the stream, everybody. Should be a pretty interesting game. Definitely think it should be close. These teams played last week. 17-13 was the final. Gamblers won. I took the Aviators to get the win here. I just don't really see the Gamblers sweeping the series. So McClendon under center here from the 5. And here's a toss. Love it again. And he tries the left side. And he'll get about 2. Down to the 3-yard line. It brings up 2nd and goal here for the Aviators. Give me 1 second while I pull up the chat. And I'll also put out a poll. Second and goal. McClendon going to look to throw here. He gets pressured, rolling right. And on the run, he'll just throw it away. Well, now we got a flag on the play. Looks like they might be calling roughing the passer. Yeah, they do call roughing the passer. They call it against 19. Oh, yeah, that's roughing the passer. Hits him in the head. So they call roughing the passer, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down. So 1st and goal from the 2, after the penalty. Here's a handoff. Love it. Met in the backfield, and he does not get there. He got barely back to the line of scrimmage. And it's 2nd and goal. So 7 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Aviators still with the ball on the game's opening drive. Ball on the 3. This is the 14th play of the opening drive right here. McClendon in shotgun, going to back to his left. And he'll hand it off. Love it. Right side, and he is in for a touchdown. John Lovett fights his way into the end zone. The Aviators go right down the field on the game's opening possession. And they find the end zone, a 14-play drive. And they're on the board first. And here is the extra point. And it is good. So 7-0 as the Aviators lead the Gamblers. A nice drive, a 3-yard touchdown run for John Lovett. And it's 7-0 Aviators. So now the Gamblers will get the ball for their first possession. That drive officially 14 plays, 74 yards, 8:20 taken off the clock. 9 run plays, 5 pass plays. 8 run plays for John Lovett on that drive. 8 carries, 35 yards, and a touchdown. That's already more carries than he had in the entire game last week. Last week he ran it 6 times for 19 yards. Today he's already at 8 for 35 and a touchdown on just one drive. His season high for carries is 15, which he had in week 3 against the Renegades, running for 15 for 80 yards. But I mean, that is really the strength of this Aviators offense. They get a very deep running back room. You've obviously got Lovett, you've got Toatawa, you've got Zaquandre White. It's a very deep running back room, so they can really run the ball well and just not really have to worry about them getting tired. Because you've got 35 carries for White and Tawa, 38 carries for John Lovett, and you've also got Jalen McClendon, who's actually their leading rusher through the first 4 weeks, or 5 weeks actually, 175 yards. But they have a very deep running back room, and that is why they've got one of the better rushing offenses in the UFL. I believe they're second in the UFL in terms of rushing yards per game. So they're back from commercial here. The Gamblers can get the ball for their first possession. A 7-0 Aviators lead. So kick is away, and will be fielded from the 6-yard line. And here are the Gamblers on the return. And he gets to the 30, and then it's wrapped up right there. So Nolan Henderson and the Gamblers offense onto the field. Nolan Henderson last week, 13 for 25, 146 yards, no touchdowns or interceptions. But he did run for a score. He is playing through a broken finger on his right hand. But he's been great for the Gamblers. Numbers aren't crazy, but he's always just exactly what they need. The offense much better when he's on the field. Empty backfield here, and a quick screen to Justin Hall. And Hall is stopped after a gain of 2 on the play. So here is a 2nd and 8 from the 31. Henderson making a check at the line. Yarns is the back one to his right. And they'll hand it to him. And Yarns is going to fall forward for a gain of about 3. So it brings up 3rd down and about 5. So you got 3rd and 5, 5:20 to go in the first quarter. 31% conversion rate through the first half of the year. Henderson scrambling to his right. He's got space, and he'll tuck it and have a first down and a lot more. Inside Aviators territory, still on his feet. He's finally stopped at the 30-yard line. What a run for Nolan Henderson. A huge pickup there on 3rd down. A big play deep inside Aviator territory. Big third down conversion. That is probably his best ability, his ability to run. But he had a ton of space there and able to take advantage of it. So 1st and 10 after the big run. Last week he ran it 6 times for 37 yards and a touchdown. Play clock at 0 here. Let's see, do we got a timeout or a delay a game? I got a timeout in first. But that was a 37-yard run for Nolan Henderson. Already more yards than he had all of last week combined on just one play. So it's a first down here for the Gamblers. 1st and 10, 4:25 to go in the first quarter. So 1st and 10 from the 29. Henderson in the pistol, got a back behind him. And he'll hand it off. Left side. And not much space on the ground. Just about a yard, maybe 2. Jalen White with the carry right there. So 2nd down and 8 from the 27. Henderson in shotgun. Play action, Henderson throwing outside. That pass caught by... Oh, that might be a face mask. But that was caught. Gain of about 3 on the play. Jalen Moreno Cropper with the catch right there. No, it wasn't a face mask. He just grabbed the shoulder pad and swung him around, not the face mask. But it is 3rd and 4. Henderson in shotgun, going to back to his right. And they're going to hand it off on 3rd down. They're going to have the 1st down, and a lot more as well. Down to the 13-yard line. They move the sticks on the ground. Nice run play. Jalen White with the carry and a 1st down for the Gamblers. So 1st and 10 from the 13. Henderson in shotgun, get back to his right. And they go to the ground. Here is Major, and he gets away, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Gamblers. He got through that hole very quickly. And Marcus Major, a 13-yard touchdown run, and the Gamblers go right down the field. And they answer the opening drive touchdown from the Aviators. Once he got through that hole, there was just nobody on the second level of the defense. Really good blocking. That was an easy run for Marcus Major. And here is the extra point. Right down the middle. Although we got a flag on the extra point. Got a false start, so that'll back him up 5. Shouldn't be a problem, though, for John Hoyland, who's been maybe the best kicker in the UFL through the first half of the year. . 'Cause 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 'C So we'll try the extra point again, 5 yards back. So instead of a 33-yarder, it's a 38-yard PAT. But the kick is still right down the middle. So 7-7, we are tied. Both teams touchdowns on their opening drive. On the ground. And we're tied at 7. But the Aviators went 14 plays, 74 yards. The Gamblers go 7 plays, 66 yards, as they take 4:14 off the clock. Both teams more run plays than pass plays on their first drives. The Gamblers go with 5 run plays, 2 pass plays. Aviators 9 and 5. But the Gamblers, they're a lot like the Aviators. Both teams very deep running back rooms. We saw 3 different running backs in the opening drive right there for Houston. Marcus Major, Jalen White, Marcus Yarns. So both teams deep running back rooms. Marcus Yarns is the leading rusher in terms of yards for the Gamblers at 209. But Jalen White has the most carries, 58. But he's averaging just 2.9 yards a carry for the year. Whereas Marcus Yarns is 6.1. Marcus Major is the guy who just scored the touchdown. He's run it 18 times for 85 yards on the year. And that was his first rushing touchdown. And then you've also got Nolan Henderson who can run the ball, although he's only got 14 carries for the season because he's been banged up. But yeah, both these teams with 3 very capable running backs. I do think the Aviators trio is better than the Gamblers trio, but they're a trio, not trio. But it is still very good. So they're back from commercial. The kickoff is away, and will be brought back here from the 9-yard line. And on the return, try to get to the outside, and he'll get across to 30. And it's knocked out of bounds right about there. So the Aviators offense, a great first drive. Last week on John Lovett, we just talked about him before. 6 carries, 19 yards. On the opening drive today, 8 carries, 36 yards. So more carries and yards in just one drive than he had in the entire game last week. But probably not going to see him much on this drive because they like to rotate their running backs. They give them all a drive. So now Toa Tawa's in the game. But McClendon can look to throw. And over the middle, that is risky throw behind the former gambler Kiki Chisholm. And it's incomplete. So 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. McClendon in shotgun from the 33. And play action, McClendon. Over the middle, that pass is caught by the tight end Gunnar Oaks for a first down as he gains 11 and moves the chains. That was a nice throw. Much better than that first throw of the drive. So 1st and 10 from the 44. 11 yards on 2nd down right there. And now they go to the ground. Here is Tawa. His first carry of the game. Does not go anywhere. He stopped at the line of scrimmage. Tawa was great last year at the Panthers. I believe he led the league in touchdowns. Hasn't quite been as productive this year, but he's also part of a significantly more talented running back room. So 2nd and 9. 30 seconds left in the opening quarter, so here comes the final play. And they go back to the ground. Tawa up the middle. And he gets 3, maybe 4 yards. And that'll take us to the 2nd quarter. So we go to the 2nd. It'll be a 3rd and 6 for the Aviators. In a 7-7 ball game. Each team really just one real drive in that first quarter. Because both teams long drives as they find the end zone. But a good start to the game offensively for both sides. 88 yards for the Gamblers, 88 for the Aviators, 71 for the Gamblers. And hopefully we keep it up with the offense, because I don't want to see another 17-13 game like last week. Although, I mean, both offenses I do think played a lot better than a 17-13 game. So both teams moved the ball effectively, just didn't score points. So we wait for them to come back from commercial as we go to the 2nd quarter. So far, results in the poll, everyone has said the Aviators will win. Be sure to vote if you guys have not already done so. I would agree. I also took the Aviators. I've got them, what did I say, 24-21, I think? Just give me 1 second. Alright, but we still wait for them to come back from commercial. The 2nd game here in week 6. As we're now officially in the 2nd half of the UFL season. Gone by very quickly so far. Obviously, the first game of the 2nd half was last night, where we saw the Battlehawks beat the Kings by a score of 16-3. It's really so crazy how the Kings went from unreal last week to scoring 3 points this week. They scored 47 last week, 3 this week. So a 44-point drop-off is pretty big. I mean, I know they did have some defensive scores last week, but that's still a drastic difference. So we start the 2nd quarter here, 3rd and 6, throw outside. Tay Martin makes the catch. He's got the first down, and it's forced to bounds at the 40. getting it inside Gambler territory. So now the Aviators cannot punt on this drive. Martin's got 2 catches for 16 yards. Goes in motion here. They fake handing it to him. McClendon looks to throw. He floats one down the sideline. That pass incomplete. Trying to get it to tight end Alize Mack, but nice coverage. A little bit underthrown, and it's 2nd and 10. Yeah, that is really good coverage. There's just nowhere to put that ball. Especially in a back shoulder throw like they tried. So 2nd and 10 from the 40. McClendon to throw again. And here is the screen outside for Juice Wells. And he gets a block. And he goes down the sideline for getting about 8 yards. So it brings up 3rd down. This offense has moved the ball pretty well for the Aviators so far. McClendon's thrown for over 60 yards. He's 7 for 10, 66 yards. And they've run the ball pretty well as well. 3rd and 2. Really got the playbook open right here. McClendon comes out under center. Toa is the back. And they're to hand it off on the sweep to Wells. He gets the 1st down. Gets a block on the outside. And he's out of bounds at the 15-yard line. So back-to-back plays, they get it into the hands of Juice Wells. This time they hand it to him and he's got a 1st down. So a 16-yard gain there. 8-play, 51-yard drive so far for the Aviators. They could have just caught him with too many guys on the field, but they're able to get off. They go to the ground. Here is Tawa breaking tackles and gaining 3. So it brings up 2nd and 7. So 2nd down and 7 from the 13. McClendon in shotgun, going to back to his right. And he'll look to throw. McClendon, underneath there's Tawa. Makes the catch, makes the guy miss. And he lunges ahead for 4 yards. So it brings up another 3rd down. But again, it's 3rd and manageable. It's 3rd and 3. And it could be 4 down territory. If you're the Aviators. So 3rd down and 3 from the 9-yard line. 1st down inside the 6. McClendon, pump fakes, now throws the screen, caught by Wells, and he's sprawling towards the end zone. He's in. Touchdown Aviators. We'll have to see if he stayed in the air before his knee hit the ground, but it looks like he was able to do that. And it's a touchdown for the Aviators. Let's see, here's another look at it. He puts his hand down for balance. Foot, hand, foot, elbow. Oh, man, that's close. I think he's in, though. Elbow down. That angle is not right down the line, but I think he's in. You're going to have to sync up 2 angles, but I think he's in. I think by the time that elbow hits the ground, he breaks the plane. Let's see. Here's another look. Then they cut away from it. So it does stand. Okay. Touchdown stands. Extra point for Co is good. And it's 14-7 Aviators. But another really nice Columbus drive. And they've already matched their total from last week in 2 drives. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns after scoring just 14 points in the entire game last week. Although all their points last week did come in the first half. What am I saying? They only scored 13 last week. It was 17-13. Sorry about that. But last week, I do recall them starting the game pretty well. They had 2 touchdowns in their first 3 drives. Both came in the second quarter. They missed an extra point in one of them, which is why they were at 13. But then they didn't score at all in the second half, going 3 and out, turnover on downs, another turnover on downs, missed field goal and a fumble, and another fumble. But now we'll have to see if they can keep it up, but it's been a great start for them offensively. But we wait for them to come back from commercial. A 14-7 Aviators lead. They got Jim Tressel bobbleheads today. I didn't even know that. That's pretty cool. Jim Tressel actually at the game. So the return here brought back from the 7. And on the return, a break a tackle. And fighting forward at the 33, stop right there. So 11-14 to go in the first half. It is a 7-point Aviators lead. So 1st and 10 from the 33. Henderson, play action, gonna look to throw. Henderson throws downfield. That pass is caught near midfield. A nice throw and catch. 17 yards and a first down. So here is Henderson in shotgun. Gonna hand it off here. No gain. So maybe they gave him a yard right there. It's now 2nd and 9. Henderson gets blown up. He doesn't even have the ball. Is there going to call a penalty on that? As the run play goes nowhere for the 2nd play in a row. But that play just was a disaster from the start for the Gamblers. But they're going to get 15 out of it because Henderson got drilled and didn't have the ball. It's a corner blitz, 32. Just drills Nolan Henderson, giving him 15. So from the 35, Henderson, play action throw on the slant. That's dropped by Justin Hall. Although now we get another flag down, as Hall a little slow to get up. What are they going to call here? Maybe hit to a defenseless player? Let's see. It didn't look like there was a penalty watching it live. They're going to call another unnecessary roughness. They call it against 27. They call him for a high hit on a defenseless player. I don't love it. He hits him more in the shoulder. Henderson taking a shot down the sideline here. That's caught. Was he in bounds? No. That's the first incompletion for Nolan Henderson. Yeah, that's definitely the right call. He's out of bounds. Jalen Moreno Cropper was the intended receiver. Here's a toss to the right side, and a huge hit in the backfield, blowing that play up for the Gamblers. Whitehead, who got called for the penalty before, knocks Marcus Yarns down for a loss of 2. And it's third down and long. So 3rd and 11. From the 22, Henderson looking, throwing underneath. That pass is caught. Got a lot of work to do, and he's knocked out of bounds well short of the first down. So a good job there by the Aviators, forcing him short, rallying the football. And it's now 4th and 5, and probably a field goal try for the Gamblers. So here is John Hoyland. He's 10 for 12 on the year. This is a 33-yarder, so same as the extra point. And Hoyland's kick right down the middle. So he's good from 33, and it's now 14-10. As the Aviators take the lead. Or sorry, the Aviators stay on top, but the Gamblers cut into the lead. So we've seen 4 drives, 4 scoring drives, 3 touchdowns and a field goal. And this one for the Aviators, or sorry, for the Gamblers, goes 6 plays for 52 yards. Definitely were helped out by some penalties there, but still a scoring drive. They actually got 15-yard penalties in back-to-back plays, which definitely helped them get into field goal range. Give me 1 second. Alright, but we still wait for them to come back from commercial. 8:01 to go in the first half. A 4-point Aviator lead. And we'll see what they can do here on their next drive. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns so far. We'll have to see if they can make it 3 for 3. Alright, so they're officially back from commercial. As the kickoff is away. And will be brought back from the 13. Actually gets muffed. And will field it on the bounce. And then gets hit at the 20, bounces off a tackle. And then has some work to do. And he gets brought down at the 27. Could have been a disaster right there for Columbus, but they're able to get something out of it. Got to the 27, which isn't a great return, but it's okay. Change of the formation here for the Aviators. Empty backfield for McClendon. Gonna look to throw it. Got time. And downfield. Nice throw and catch. There's Tay Martin breaking a tackle. Martin, there he goes inside the 30. Makes a cut inside the 20. And he stopped right there. A huge catch and run for Tay Martin. And a big play to start this drive for the Aviators. A nice throw by McClendon. And Martin, a great job after the catch. So from the 20, they go to the ground. Here is Zaquandre White. And he lunges ahead for 3 yards. How about that one play and they're inside the red zone? So 2nd down and 8 from the 18. McClendon again under center. Another handoff to White. Bounced off his own blocker. And wow, he almost broke free. But he gets tripped up after another 2 yards. But he was looking for more right there. So now it's 3rd and 5. Jalen McClendon, 10 for 13, 131 yards, and a touchdown so far in this game. That's almost his entire total from last week. 3rd and 5, another quick snap. White again, being patient, and he's got the 1st down. He gains 8, did a good job following his blocks, leading to the line to gain. And got 8, needed 5, and it's 1st and goal with 6 minutes to play in the first half. Again, they're on the ball quickly. Back to White again. And again, he's got blockers and White. An escort to the end zone. Touchdown, Aviators. Man, this offense is insane. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns. Where has this offense been all year? Another 6 for Columbus. It's about to be 21-10. Wow. What a drive. 5 plays, 63 yards. No, 73 yards. 5 plays, 73 yards. Man, what a drive. $5:44 to go in the first half still, too. That was a really impressive Columbus drive. So here is Ryan Coe for the extra point. And the extra point is good. So it is 21-10 after another great Aviators drive. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns. And we continue to see scoring drives on every drive so far in this game. 4 touchdowns and a field goal. 5 plays, it's officially marked 72 yards. What a drive. You had the 52-yard catch and run for Tay Martin. Then you went White for 2, White for 3, White for 8, and then 7 for the touchdown. Really nice drive. Jalen McClendon now 10 for 13, 131 yards and a touchdown. And they've run for 81 yards and 2 scores on 4.8 yards per carry. For the Aviators, they've scored 21 points here, and this is already their fourth highest scoring game. I thought they weren't as good, but it's more than they scored last week in the entire game. They scored 28 the game before, 23 before that, and then 26, and then 16. But it has been their most impressive offensive game so far. And we're just in the first half. Thanks for calling the game. You're welcome. Glad you enjoy it. For Jalen McClendon, he's thrown for 131 yards and a touchdown. And 131 yards is already his... It's almost as much as he had last week. Last week he threw for 160. It's already more than he had the game before that, where he threw for 126. I mean, he's only averaging like 150 yards a game. 176 to be exact. But he's played well, and this entire Aviators offense has looked quite good. So far, results in the poll, 60% of you guys have said the Gamblers will win, 40% have said the Aviators. Be sure to vote if you've not already done so. So the kickoff away after the touchdown. And this one is brought back from the 3. And the return bouncing off defender. And then he gets tripped up at the 32. So Nolan Henderson and the offense back onto the field. Nolan Henderson's been banged up in this game. He's been limping since the first drive. It's a hamstring injury, but he's still in the game. He's also playing through a finger injury on his throwing hand. Hands it off here and he goes nowhere. Major stop at the line of scrimmage. And it's 2nd and 10. So 2nd and 11. Henderson in shotgun, going to back to his right. Play clock at 3. They'll get the play off. Henderson underneath that pass caught. Justin Hollis trying to spin out of a tackle, and he'll pick up 9. Brings up 3rd and 2. Henderson 5 for 6, 38 yards. So 3rd and short, going to hand it off. Major up the middle, and he is not going to get there. Got stopped pretty much at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go. It's 4th down. We got 4 minutes to go in the first half, and we're going to have our first punt of the game. It'll be the first drive that does not end in points for either team. The Gamblers will punt. The Aviators defense gets a 3 and out, and they're really firing all cylinders right now. So they do punt it away, and it's going to bounce at the 30 and stop bouncing up at the 24. So that is where McClendon and the Aviators offense will take over for their next drive. 21-10. With 3:13 to go in the in the second quarter. We'll have to see if they can make it 4 drives, 4 touchdowns. Because so far they've been great. But we'll see if they can do it again. This time starting at their own 24, which will be their worst starting field position of the game. So we still wait for them to come back from commercial. 3:13 to go in the first half. Aviators by 11. So far, they're averaging 7 yards per play. 211 yards on 30 plays. And they've scored a touchdown on all 3 drives. 131 yards passing, 80 yards rushing. They've had drives that have gone 14 plays, 74 yards, 11 plays, 67 yards, and 5 plays, 71 yards. So far, results in the poll, 60% have said the Gamblers will win, 40% have said the Aviators. Again, be sure to vote if you have not already done so. Wow, we've got a lot of early movement here. Somebody came flying across the line of scrimmage, ran over the left guard, and they're going to call a defensive penalty here, offsides, against the Gamblers. McClendon going to hand it off. Here is John Lovett. And Lovett on 1st and 5 picks up 3. So the running back rotation continues drive by drive for the Aviators. Lovett had the first drive, now he's got the 4th. Tao had the 2nd, we'll probably have the 5th, and White had the 3rd, we'll probably have the 6th. Lovett again, he's got the first down here again of 4 on the toss to the right side. They don't have to run a play before the 2-minute warning. Got about 15 seconds. Let's see, 5 seconds. Doesn't look like they're going to snap it. Yeah, they're not. So 2 minutes left in the first half, 11-point Aviators lead. And they've continued to move the ball on this drive. I mean, it's only been 2 plays, but they've already got a first down. Although, obviously, we're helped out by the penalty, but this offense looks so good to start this game. So we still wait for them to come back from commercial. Alright, so now we're back from commercial. 2 minutes left in the first half. So 3 timeouts for the Aviators, 2 for the Gamblers. Man, it has started to pour. I don't even think it was raining to start the game. It has started pouring in Columbus. So 1st and 10. Swing pass. Love it. Met in the backfield. He gets dropped for a loss of 3. And it's 2nd down. A great job reading that play by the defender. So 2nd and 14. Play clock at 2. They'll get it off. Delayed handoff. Love it. Run somebody over. And he'll work his way up to the 40-yard line. Nice run. Got about 8 yards. This offense already more points than they scored last week, and almost as many total yards and passing yards they had in the first half this week as they had in the entire game last week. Got a 3rd and 7 right here. 42 seconds to go in the opening quarter. McClendon in shotgun, got a back to his right. A look to throw on 3rd down. And underneath that pass caught, but he's wrapped up well short. Pretty much at the line of scrimmage. So the Gamblers get the stop. They also call a timeout with 31 seconds left. So they're going to give themselves a chance to do something here before the half. And they also get the ball to start the second half. So, I mean, they're not out of this. Down by 11, 2-score game. You can get 2 possessions right now. Even if you only get 3 right now before halftime, you can still cut it to a 1-point game if you're not going to go for 2, but you can definitely cut it if you get points. You could realistically tie the game if you want to go for 2 when you score a touchdown. So we got 31 seconds before halftime. Still got 3 timeouts for Columbus. Now 1 timeout left for the Aviators. Sorry, that same thing. 1 timeout left for the Gamblers. Let's see how aggressive they got before the half. So 4th and 7. A punt here for the Aviators. So switch the ball marker to Houston. Get some pressure on the punt, but it's away cleanly. And fielded at the 11. One guy misses. And now looking for some space, we'll bring it back to the 17. So 6 on the return. So 17 seconds, 1 timeout in the rain. You'll see how aggressive the Gamblers get right here. How big of a gamble they'll take. Pun intended. I'm sure you guys could tell. You do get the ball to start the second half. Let's see what they do. I don't really think they do anything too crazy. Pretty deep inside their own territory. Yeah, they're just going to take a knee. I mean, I would not have done that. I would have tried at least something. I mean, at least hand the ball off, see if you can pop a big run or something like that, but we go to halftime. Aviators 21, Gamblers 10. A great first half for Columbus. And they'll try to hold on in the second half. But 21-10 is the score. The Gamblers do get it to start the second half. So maybe they can try to come back. But an 11-point game at halftime. I'm going to go take a quick break. Use the bathroom for my water. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Alright, I'm back. So at halftime, 21-10, the Aviators lead. This game's already been a lot higher scoring than last week. Last week we saw 30 points scored in the entire game combined. This week we've already seen 31 in the first half. Although maybe it's still a lower scoring game, because I mean last week we saw 27 of the 30 points scored in the first half. But I wouldn't expect that to happen this week. I do think the offenses will continue to score points. Might be harder now in the rain, but I don't think we're going to see teams get shut out in the second half. But a very good first half for the Aviators. Not so much for the Gamblers. I mean, could have been a lot worse for them, but not great. But as far as an updated score prediction goes, originally I think I said 24-21, but let me just double check that. Yeah, 24-21, so score's going to be a little bit off. Well, you never know, but probably. But as far as an updated score goes, I definitely think we're going to see the Aviators with the win. I'm going to stick with them. And we'll go Columbus 20... No, we'll say 31... 31-20. We'll give each team 10 in the second half. We'll go over some stats from the first half. For the Gamblers, Nolan Henderson, 5 for 6, 38 yards, no touchdowns or interceptions. He's also their leading rusher, 2 carries, 36 yards. Jalen White, 3 for 13. Marcus Major, 3 for 12 and a touchdown. And Marcus Yarns, 2 carries for a yard. Then receiving for Houston, Lawrence Keys III, 1 catch, 17 yards. Justin Hall, 2 for 11. Caden Davis, 1 for 6. And Jalen Moreno Cropper, 1 for 4. Then for the Aviators, Jalen McClendon had a really nice first half, as he went 12 for 15, 128 yards and a touchdown. And on the ground, John Lovett, 11 carries for 49 yards and a touchdown. Zaquandre White, 4 carries, 20 yards and a touchdown. Juice Wells is 1 for 16. Toa 3 for 7. And Jalen Morton, the backup quarterback, got a carry, with 1 carry for 2 yards. Then receiving for the Aviators, Tay Martin, 3 catches for 68 yards. Gunnar Oaks, 2 for 18. Kiki Chisholm, 1 for 18. Juice Wells, 2 for 17. And then you got a bunch of guys with 1 catch. Alize Mack, Toa, Jalen Moore, and John Lovett. Then team stats from the first half. 222 yards for the Aviators, 100 for the Gamblers. Aviators at 6.3 yards a play, Gamblers 6.2. Time of possession, Aviators 19:38, and Gamblers 10:22. The Aviators also 3 drives that have gotten to the red zone, 3 touchdowns. Gamblers are 1 for 2 in the red zone. The Aviators, the better passing team, yards, completions, attempts, yards per attempt, and touchdowns, they all lead. And the Aviators also more rush attempts and rushing yards, but the Gamblers, the more effective team on the ground. They're at 6.2 yards per rush, 4.7 for the Aviators. Defensive stats, no sacks for either side. 2 TFLs for both teams, and 3 pass deflections for the Gamblers, 0 for the Aviators. And the no turnovers in the first half. But a pretty good first half. We'll see what the second half has in store. Right now, we've got the Aviators leading the Gamblers 21-10. At halftime, with the Gamblers getting the ball to start the second half. Just give me 1 second. Just looking something up. Give me 1 second. Alright. So we're ready to start the second half. I'll change this to quarter 3. Looks like the rain has stopped a little bit there, or at least slowed down. Can't see it pouring as they interview Kevin Sumlin. They scored points in their first 2 drives, but then went 3 and out. And we'll see what they can do for their second drive. No, sorry, for their drives here in the second half. So the kickoff here is a line drive kickoff, and it's going to go on the bounce through the end zone. Wow, well played by the Aviators. Not great there for the Gamblers, because that's going to put them at the 20-yard line. And we've got a new quarterback into the game. Talia Tagovailoa, Tua's younger brother, into the game for the Gamblers. So Nolan Henderson is out. He's been banged up. Talia Tagovailoa was their starter in week 3. Played some in week 4. We'll see what he can do here. Look to throw on his first pass attempt, and that is caught. Swing pass to Yarns. He spins away from the defender and gains 4. Although Marcus Yarns now is hurt as he goes limping off the field. Hopefully he's okay. So 2nd and 6. Here is Marcus Major to the left side. No, sorry, that's actually Jalen White. Major's 34, White 32. He got the carry right there. And he got about 2. So 3rd and 5. They're 2 for 4 on 3rd down today. Look to throw. Underneath, that pass is dropped by Jontre Kirkland. And incomplete. That was a big problem for him last year. Just drops. He drops one there. Definitely got to get caught. Nice throw. Hit him right in the hands. That one's got to be caught. So here is a 3-and-out. Oh, the punt almost got blocked. Wow, how did they not get that? It ends up getting down to the 34. I don't know how they did not get a piece of that one. Man, that was close. .22 just missed it. But it is still Aviators football at their own 34-yard line. That is where they'll have it for their first drive of the second half. After the defense has now forced back-to-back 3-and-outs. Going back to the end of last drive. Oh, sorry, at the end of last half. Just give me 1 second. Just checking something really quickly. So 21-10, the Aviators get it for their second drive, or their first drive of the second half. The Gamblers have now gone 3-and-out, back-to-back drives, not including the kneel down right before halftime. So we'll see what the Aviators can do here as they get the ball, their first offensive possession here in the second half. The offense was great in the first half. We'll have to see if that carries over to the half number 2. We got a wildcat formation here. John Lovett set to take the direct snap. Now they'll shift out of that and motion McClendon back into the backfield. And McClendon takes the snap, and he's got a lot of space here on the option. And he'll slide after 8 yards. Todd Haley gets creative with the formation. Then they run the option. McClendon just had a ton of space. He gets 8. So 2nd and 2. Toa in motion. And they're going to hand it to him after he wind up at fullback. Tallow gets through the line inside Gambler territory. Stiff arms the guy is out of bounds at the 38. A nice run for Toa. And a first down for Columbus. .21 yards on the run play right there. the 37-yard line. They go back to the ground. This time, John Lovett. And Lovett's got another good run. He picks up 7, getting to the 30. Not this play, but the one right before that where Tawa got the ball. For the first time, we've seen 2 running backs in the game at the same time. Lovett and Tawa both in the game right there. It's usually just been 1 for the Aviators. So 2nd down and 3. Ball on the 30. Here's a toss. Lovett dancing around, trying to break a tackle, can't do so. And he's stopped at the line of scrimmage. So 3rd down and 3. We got 11 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. So McQuenton gonna look to throw it. And that pass is bobbled. That might have been a backwards pass. They're to rule incomplete. Oh, that was a forward pass, but they tried to set up the screen for Juice Wells. So it's now 4th and 3. Will be a field goal try for the Aviators. So here is Ryan Coe. Hasn't been great, just 4 for 7. Long of 53. This is a 48-yard attempt. And this kick is good. Nice kick. Right down the middle. So the field goal is good. It is now 24-10. A 14-point Aviators lead. As they get more points. $9:54 to go in the 3rd quarter. That drive for the Aviators, 6 plays, 37 yards. And they've now scored on 4 of their 5 drives. The one they didn't was the one right before halftime. They ended up punting that. But this has been a really good offensive game. So they're back from commercial. Kickoff is away. And on the return here, he's got some space as he gets that across the 30 to the 35. And we'll see what the Gamblers have on this next drive. So 1st and 10 from the 37. Talia Tagovailoa to throw. Gets pressured. Trying to escape. He does not. He goes down for a sack. He lost 7. Kenny Wilkes with the sack. And it's 2nd and 17. It is the first sack of the game for either team. And it's Kenny Wilkes with the sack. He's been great this year for the Aviators. 2nd and 17. Here's a toss to the left side. And about 3 yards there for Jalen White. So 3rd and 14. Empty backfield here. Toledo going to look to throw. And he throws outside. It's just a simple out route that is caught by Jalen Moreno Cropper. He's knocked the bounds after getting a 5. And that is the drive. Well, a very short drive. Another quick 3 and out. And this Gamblers offense has really slowed down after a hot start. So here is another punt. They almost blocked one before. Let's see if they come after it again. No pressure on this punt. This one is going to bounce inside the 20 and fielded on the bounce by Juice Wells. Back at his own 10-yard line. Trying to turn the corner. He cannot. He's dragged down at the 13. Not a good decision to play it like that for Juice Wells. And the Aviators start at their own 13-yard line. But they're up by 14. A scoring drive in their last drive. We'll see what they can do here on this next possession. So we'll see what they can do here on this next possession. Give me 1 second. But we'll see what the Aviators do on this next drive. 7:43 to go in the third quarter. 6.5 yards per play so far. Gamblers were at about 6 yards a play at halftime. A little over, actually. I think it was like 6.2. They're down to 4.8 because they have just 6 yards on 2 second-half drives. So 1st and 10 here. From the 14-yard line, they go to the ground. Here is Toa Tawa. Straight up the middle for a gain of about 3 yards on 1st down. Second and 7. We've got an injury timeout here. We had an injured Gambler defender down. Hopefully he's okay. Number 28. Marvin Moody slowly walks off the field. But good to see him walk off the field on his own power. So 2nd and 7. 7:26 to go in the third. Aviators looking for their 2nd win of the year. Improved to 2-4. Another handoff here is Tawa getting to the outside. Tawa's got the 1st down and 10 yards. Really nice running right there for Toa Tawa. Yeah, this is actually a pretty big game for the Aviators. Every game is from here on out, because if you go 5-5 and lose a 5th game, even if 5-5 is your best case scenario, that's probably not getting you to the playoffs. Even if they win out and go 6-4, that's still not a guarantee, but they've got to win some games if they want to make the playoffs. But not looking likely right now after going 1-4 in the first half of the year. McClendon pump fakes the screen. Now he does set up the screen for Tawa. And Tawa makes the guy miss, trying to cut it inside, and he gains 6. These are also pretty big games for the Gamblers. They're 2-3. Best case scenario for them is they go 7-3. They can make the playoffs, but they just haven't really looked that great. So they need to win, especially if you go to 2-4. That's not great when looking at playoff chances. So here's a 2nd and 3. Handoff. Here is White, makes a cut, breaks a tackle, still on his feet, backpedaling his way towards the 50. And he's out of bounds at his own 49. Nice run for Zaquandre White. I think he might have ran more backwards there than he did forwards, but they'll take the yards wherever they can get him, and a 1st down. They're also mixing up their running back rotation a little bit. We saw Lovett last drive. Also saw a little bit of Tawa last drive. Now we've seen Tawa this drive. Also some of Zaquandre White this time. As White remains in here. And he gets the ball again. Up the middle for 2 yards to midfield. by. I mean, this is a very good run game with 3 very good backs. So 2nd down and 8. McClendon in shotgun, back to his right. Here's a toss to Lovett, and he's stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Tonight they've already run for 160 yards. Their season average is 135, which is already 2nd best. So well over that average. And still an entire quarter to play in the 4th and 4 minutes left in the 3rd. 3rd down and 8 from their own 49. McClendon in shotgun, back to his left. McClendon on 3rd down, looks to throw. Whoa, what the heck? Alright, that skips ahead, because apparently it froze, so it jumps back to live. So it's 4th down and 5. They got 3 there on 3rd down. Going for it here, because they've crossed midfield. McClendon pressured quickly, breaks the pocket, try to run for it, and he is very close. I don't think so. No, he does not get there. It's Gambler football as they force the turnover on downs. He's got to get to the 43. And yeah, he is short. McClendon is short. They need another yard or so. And the Gamblers' defense gets the turnover on downs. I almost wonder if it would have been better for them not to get anything on 3rd down and then to be able to punt it away on 4th. I wonder if that might have been the better play as opposed to turning it over on downs and then giving you some then giving your opponent great field position. So we'll see what the Gamblers can do here on their next drive. So far, they have done absolutely nothing in the 4th quarter. In the 2nd half. And we're almost in the 4th quarter. They have not gotten a 1st down. They've got like 6 yards. Oh, wait a minute. The Aviators are challenging something that happened on 4th down. They think there should have been a hold on the outside against the corner. Juice Wells was the receiver being held. And let's see, Mike Pereira in the command center. Let's see. It looks like he's going to deny this challenge. He's saying when the hold actually occurs, the quarterbacks are committed to the run. So it seems like this challenge is going to be unsuccessful. So yeah, the challenge is unsuccessful. So Ted again loses his challenge and a timeout, and the Gamblers still take over. And the Gamblers do have the turnover on downs. So 1st and 10 here from the 43. Here's a throw to the outside. That pass is caught by the tight end. Breaks a tackle. Still on his feet. And one play, and they're already to the Aviators' 37-yard line. A nice catch and run. And a first down for the Gamblers. So 1st and 10 from the 37. Handoff here. Major. Got 5. The opening drive, they went 7 plays, 71 yards, scored a touchdown. But since then, 16 plays, 35 yards on their next 5 drives. They're averaging 7 yards per drive. Here's a touch pass to Justin Hall. He's got the first down. Takes a big hit. But he gains 8 and moves the sticks for Houston. But this drive has been a lot better. You're able to move the ball a little bit. They've already got it inside the Columbus 30. So 1st and 10 from the 23. Here's a handoff. Up the middle. Got about 3. Marcus Yarns left the game before with an injury. He's back in there, by the way. So glad to see he's okay. 2nd down and 8 from the 21. Here is a triple option. Throw down the sideline. Call a touchdown. Tagovailoa throws a touchdown. Lawrence Keys makes the catch. And it's a touchdown for the Gamblers. It's their first touchdown since their first drive of the game, and they're right back in this. Was a triple option there. Toledo could have handed that off, kept it himself, or thrown it up to do the third. And the extra point is good. It is now a 7-point game with 48 seconds to play in the third quarter. Gamblers right back in it. So it's not over yet. So what happens is the corner ends up getting caught up with the switch release. So he runs into the other receiver, leaving Lawrence Keys wide open for the touchdown. But a nice drive right there for the Gamblers. 5 plays, 58 yards. A 21-yard touchdown. And they've cut it to a 7-point game. So the Columbus lead gets cut in half, and let's see how they respond. Kickoff here, brought back from the 3. Not much space. He's out of bounds at the 25. Really good coverage by the Gamblers. Last 3 possessions for the Aviators have gone punt, field goal, turnover on downs. So let's see what they do here on this next drive. McClendon 14 for 18, 139 yards and a touchdown. We'll hand it off here. Here is Zaquandre White dancing around and picking up 3 to open up the drive. That also could have been the final play of the quarter. Probably will be. Yeah, it is. So we go to the fourth quarter, a 7-point game. 24-17. Aviators lead. And we'll see what the fourth quarter has in store. Been a pretty close game so far. It's been controlled by the Aviators, but the Gamblers not out of it. Just score the touchdown. And we'll see what they can do as we head to the final quarter. Give me 1 second. Just checking something really quickly. Alright, so they're now back from commercial. As we go to the fourth quarter, a 7-point Aviators lead. We've got the football as well. So we'll see what they can do. If they can extend that lead, or if the Gamblers can get a stop, continue to come back. We're just down by 14 a couple minutes ago. They've cut that lead to 7 as we start the fourth quarter. Houston outscores Columbus 7-3 in the third. And it's 24-17. So second down and 7. McClendon under center from the 28. Alize Mack comes in motion. And McClendon going to look to throw off play action. Steps up, goes deep downfield. Like way downfield. It is almost intercepted. Trying to get it to Jalen Moore. It was double covered. And nearly picked off. Had a chance at it. Ends up just breaking it up, but a dangerous throw from McClendon, thrown deep down the field in double coverage. So 3rd and 7. They're 0 for their last 4 on 3rd down. They'll just get the play off here. McClendon, jump pass underneath. Caught by Chisholm, trying to get the first down. I don't think he got there. I think he's just short. Yeah, and it's 4th and 1. So 4th and 1. They will punt. I don't like punting, but it's probably the right decision. But you definitely have an idea of going for it, even though you're at your own 35. But they will punt it away. Gamblers get it back. Here's Keys from the 13. And Keys, a nice return all the way out to the 28. 15-yard punt return. And he sets the Gamblers up down by 7. Trying to make it back-to-back touchdown drives. Gamblers able to take advantage of a short field last drive. This time they've got to go pretty much the length of the field. Not like the entire length of the field, but they've got to go like 75 yards. And Gamblers up to 163 total yards. Aviators at 311. Gamblers at 6 yards of play. Aviators 6.1. We'll see what this next drive has in store. We got 13:20 to go in the fourth quarter. In what has been a very close game. So we still wait for them to come back. 13:20 to go in the fourth quarter. Columbus looking for their second win of the year. Aviators, so that is the same thing. Columbus looking for their second win of the year. The Gamblers looking to make it back-to-back wins over the Aviators and improve to 3-3 on the year, which would put them right back in the playoff mix. Top 4 teams make the playoffs right now. Dallas is the last team in at 3-2 at the halfway point in the season. But they have not been playing that well. They've lost 2 straight. Play the Defenders tomorrow. So 1st and 10. Here's a quick throw, and it's incomplete. Justin Hall with the drop. Usually a pretty sure-handed receiver. But he drops that one. Until he is second in completion. So 2nd and 10. Tagovailoa gonna look to throw it again. And thrown outside. That's caught by Kirkland. And he gains 6. On a little curl route. So 3rd down and 4. Tagovailoa in shotgun, gonna back to his left. Gonna look to throw, and on the slant, that's incomplete. It was a quick throw, and inaccurate. And it's now 4th down. Just throws it a little bit too far. Pass incomplete, and it's 3 and out for Houston. So punting before was the right decision for the Aviators. Because now they get the ball back just 2 minutes later. Wells on the punt return, fields at the 29, out of bounds at the 32. So 11:26 to go in the fourth quarter. Aviators get it back. And we'll see what McClendon and the offense can do for this next drive. So a 7-point Aviators lead. So Tay Martin goes in motion. McClendon hands it off. Here is Lovett trying to spin away from defender. He cannot, and he's dropped at the line of scrimmage. So Lovett goes nowhere, and it is 2nd and 10. 30 plays, 212 yards, 3 touchdowns on their first 3 drives. On their last 4, 22 plays, 77 yards. So 2nd and 10. McClendon to throw it here. And he throws over the middle. That is juggled, incomplete. Trying to get it to Juice Wells. And just like that, it's 3rd and 10. That one should be caught. The play Juice Wells has to make. So here is a 3rd down and 10. Play clock at 2. Might have to burn a timeout. And they do. Ted again calls timeout over on the sideline. It's the first timeout. No, actually it's their second because they used a challenge before and lost it. That's right. I mean, I would have rather just taken it away right there. It's already 3rd and long. I might rather just take the 5-yard loss right there. Take my chances on 3rd and 15. Save the timeout. So 3rd down and 10. 10:08 to go in the 4th quarter. McClendon in shotgun, going to back to his right. From the 30. A look to throw. McClendon downfield. That is high, but caught for a 1st down. 20 yards for Tay Martin. He gets to midfield. And a big 3rd down conversion. Really nice throw to Martin up the seam for the 1st. Nice throw and catch. Martin's got 4 catches, 87 yards. He's in motion here. From midfield, we've got flags down and a false start. So 1st and 15. 9:26 to go in the 4th quarter. McClendon under center. Play action. And he throws outside. That is caught. Jalen Moore makes the catch. 13 yards before he heads out of bounds. So it brings up 2nd and 2. And a very nice completion of the out route right there. So 2nd and 3. McClendon in shotgun. Gonna hand it off this time. Love it up the middle. Is taken down a yard short of the 1st down. And it's 3rd and 1. They get on the ball quick here. 3rd and short. Might just try to sneak it. They will, and McClendon's got the 1st down. McClendon's now thrown for 176 and a touchdown. And he ran for a 3rd down right there on the sneak. Or ran for a 1st down on 3rd down, I should say. 8 minutes to go. been a much needed good drive for the Aviators. Just control the ball, take some time off the clock. This has been great. McClendon on the option, trying to get outside, and he breaks one tackle. Oh, he lost the ball. Ball comes out. They do get it back, and it ends up being like a 5-yard gain on the play. But man, a Jalen McClendon fumble. He fumbled at the end of last game, costing him a chance to come back. Almost just had another huge one right there. That is his one problem. He's a good player, but he cannot hold on to the ball. Oh, actually, I think he was down first here. I think he's down before the ball comes out. So yeah, they do mark him down first with 2nd and 9. McClendon hands off, love it, up the middle. About 6, maybe 7 yards. Brings up 3rd and short. With 6:50 to go. Jalen Morton into the game at quarterback. We saw him run it before. Could do it right here on 3rd and 3. Wonder if they let him throw it. Nope. Design quarterback run. No, it's a fake. They pitch it to Oaks underneath. And he makes the catch, but does not get the first. They go with a little shovel pass-like play. They fake the quarterback run to the left with a shovel pass underneath to Oaks. And it's now 4th and 1 and decision time for Ted Ginn. Because you could go for this. Because it's 4th and 1. But you could also take the points, make it a 2-score game with 6 minutes left. And that's what they're going to do. It's a 49-yard field goal. Ryan Coe made from 48 earlier in the game. But it's not been amazing this year. It's a big kick right here with 5:35 on the clock. So 49 yards away. Coe missed it. Misses it wide right. So the Gamblers keep it a 1-score game as they miss a long field goal. And they get it back down 7 with about 5.5 minutes to play. That is another miss for Ryan Coe. He has just not been the greatest this year. He made from 48 before, missed from 49 right here, missed an extra point last week. Gotta pull up his stats right now. He is now 5 for 9 on field goals. And 13 for 14 on extra points. So nothing amazing. But I guess not terrible either, but that could be a big missed kick right there. Because now you've got time left. We got 5:29 left for the Gamblers. Just down by 7. Plenty of time for Houston. So we still wait for them to come back from commercial. 5.5 minutes to play. Alright, so here we go. 1st and 10 from the 39. Handoff. Yarns, no gain. So 2nd and 10. Tagovailoa looks to throw, gets pressured, and he just throws that one away at the feet of his closest receiver. So 3rd down and 10 from the 39. 4:35 on the clock. Empty backfield here for Tagovailoa. Look to throw it. Step up. Going to try to run. He lost the ball. He fumbles. It gets knocked out of bounds. Back at the 33-yard line. Wow. A huge stop by this Columbus defense. The Gamblers get the ball back, but they go a quick 3 and out. I mean, this doesn't even get knocked out. He just tries to switch which hand it's in. He just drops it. And then it gets knocked out of bounds. Which isn't even the worst thing. But a major missed opportunity right here for the Gamblers. So the Gamblers go 3 and out. They punt it away. And the punt is out of bounds at the 31. So the Gamblers punt it away. The Aviators have the ball back. Up by 7. They've got a season-high 355 yards today. Let's see if they can put this game away. Man, this has been a quick game. I've only been streaming for 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I've only got 3 minutes left. McQuendon, hands off. White is stopped for a loss, maybe got back to the line. But either way, not much. With 2nd and long. Three and a half minutes to play. Gamblers still have all 3 timeouts as well. Second down and 10. McQuendon in shotgun. Look to throw here. And he throws the outside. Caught by Martin. Cuts inside. Bouncing off defenders. Still on his feet. Eventually gets tripped off, but he gains 13. First down Aviators. Tay Martin's had a really nice game. McQuendon up to 189 yards passing after that. Martin's close to 100 receiving. Yeah, Martin didn't even 100 yards receiving on 5 catches. Here's a run play. White trying to get to the edge. White is going to have the first down as he's forced out of bounds with 2:21 to go. after gain of actually they only give him 9. So it's 2nd and 1. The clock only stops when you go out of bounds permanently inside 2 minutes. They can take this all the way down to the 2-minute warning. So we reached the 2-minute warning, a 7-point Aviators lead. And it's 24-17 with 2 minutes left. It's a 2nd and 1 for the Aviators. Second and 1 Aviators. Gamblers do still have all 3 timeouts. So it is very possible for the Gamblers to get this ball back. So we'll see if the Aviators can get their 2nd win, or if the Gamblers can win back-to-back and get up to 500 on the year. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial. Aviators trying to put this game away. Up 24-17. This game has honestly been better than I expected. I mean, I expected it to be pretty close, but it's been pretty entertaining. And I mean, I didn't really expect that after what we saw from these 2 teams last week. Well, this has been a pretty good game to watch. So 2nd and 1. McClendon under center. First play out of the 2-minute warning. Alize Mack goes in motion. McClendon quarterback sneak, first down. So they get the first. Timeout Gamblers with 1:56 to go. Oh no, no timeout. Sorry about that. The clock was stopped because you temporarily stop the clock when you get a first down. Inside 2 minutes. So the timeout, they still have all 3. But they're going to let the clock run down here to about minute 20-ish. Minute 25 before they snap this. And then you'd imagine they're going to call their timeouts. So here's the toss. White going backwards. Now trying to reverse the field. That's not going to work. He goes way back to his own 45-yard line. That is a huge loss. And there's the timeout for the Gamblers. That is exactly what they needed. Not only getting a stop, but how about forcing him backwards 9 yards? That was a disastrous play for the Aviators. And I mean, that doesn't guarantee the Gamblers are going to get the ball back, but it really helps their chances because now you've got your timeouts, and it is highly unlikely the Aviators are going to get a first down in this set of downs. So 2nd and 19, minute 17 on the clock. So McClendon in shotgun, going to back to his right. He'll look to throw, and he throws the flat, caught by Martin, and he goes out of bounds. Oh man, that is not what you want to do. That stops the clock with a minute 13 to go. Why are you even throwing the ball in that situation? Run the ball, force them to use their timeouts. I do not like that play call from Todd Haley. And going out of bounds is also not smart because now that saves them a timeout too. So that is bad all around for the Aviators. I mean, you just got to accept the fact you're not going to get the ball back, or you're not going to get the first down. And now they're going to get backed up even further because they false started. Man, this is not good if you're the Aviators. So it'll now be 3rd and 21. Their right tackle flinched early. Third and 21. I mean, you should have just accepted the fact that you were not going to get the first down and forced them to use their timeouts before that second down play and just run the ball. Because now you save them a timeout. And it could be big in this game. 3rd and 21. Can't imagine they risk anything right here. But if they're going to throw it again, they will set up the screen. White makes the catch, and again he's going backwards. He loses 5 on the play. The Gamblers call a timeout with 1:05 on the clock. And it is 4th and a mile. It is 4th and 26. The Gamblers will get it back. By the time they get the ball back, they put a couple seconds back on the clock. So there's 1:07 to play. Got to imagine there'll be about, we'll say, 55 seconds after the punt. End of timeout. I mean, you've got plenty of time. So Talia Tagovailoa and the Gamblers offense going to have their chance. Down a touchdown with about a minute left. We'll see what they can do. So it's 4th and 26. Gamblers getting the ball back. 1:07 on the clock. So the punt is away. And it's a good kick. Fielded at the 6. And on the return, make a guy miss, and he's tripped up at the 16. So a 10-yard return. A really good punt. So it takes 10 seconds off the clock, so 57 seconds. And a timeout to work with here for the Gamblers. Down by 7. They'll have to go the length of the field, about 85 yards, to get in the end zone. And a first down play. Sorry, I was refreshing the page to make sure I was up to live. I was not. He got sacked, and now he's hurt. Talia Tagovailoa is hurt after he got sacked on first down. Oh, man. Hopefully he's okay. He's already in because Nolan Henderson is out with a hamstring injury. They're looking at his left leg. doesn't look like there's anything too unusual. That would really cause an injury right there, but I mean, hopefully he's okay. But he's up to his feet. He'll get helped off the field. So Hunter Deckers, who started week 2, has been hurt since. He will come into the game. He made his return from an injury today. It's like the first time he's been active since he got hurt. But he was only active as the emergency third quarterback. So that is what he is right now. Henderson's out. Talia Tagovailoa is out. And looks to be in some serious pain. As he gets helped to the sideline, not really being able to put much pressure on that left leg. So it's now 2nd and 19. And they've got a receiver at quarterback right now. Jonte Kirkland is taking the direct snap. It's a quarterback draw. And Kirkland gets the 15. But the problem is you have no timeouts. So 3rd down, 40 seconds. You have a receiver at quarterback. He's going to throw it here. No, we've got a flag down first. False start. And that's going to come with a 10-second runoff as well. With a running clock. So I guess they don't think Hunter Deckers can go with his shoulder injury. This is also the 2nd week in a row we've seen a receiver play quarterback. Last week, towards the end of the game, the Renegades had a receiver playing quarterback as well because they benched Austin Reed and traded away their backup, Luis Perez. So Henderson is hurt. Talia Tagovailoa is hurt. Deckers is not coming into the game. So Jonte Kirkland, the receiver, going to look to throw here. And he is going to get taken down inbounds. That might be game. 13 seconds, clock running. It's 4th down. You might have one play. If you can even get it off. They do get it off. Kirkland throws downfield. It's intercepted. It's picked off. And that is the game. 24-17. The Aviators hold on for the win. They improve to 2-4. The Gamblers fall to 2-4. And the Aviators get the win. It's their 2nd win of the year. And a crazy ending for the Gamblers. And, I mean, if you're the Gamblers, what are you doing at quarterback right now? Because Deckers apparently can't go. Because if he could, you could go. You definitely put him into the game right there. So apparently they don't want him playing, even though they did release the other quarterback they had on the roster, activated him for this game. But they didn't want him in the game. So, I mean, what do you do moving forward? If Talia Tagovailoa's got a serious knee injury, if Henderson's out with a hamstring, I mean, they might be giving that guy they just cut today a call and say, we need you again. Because we can't stay healthy. Good job calling this. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Philip Rivers to the rescue. Yeah, really. They'll have to call somebody up. I mean, we obviously don't know how serious the injuries are for Henderson and Tui Tagovailoa, but I mean, we'll have to see what they end up doing at quarterback. I'd imagine they'll have to bring somebody in. But, I mean, I feel like this game also kind of makes it that you kind of know the 4 teams who are going to be in the playoffs for the UFL. I know it's still early, and we're only at week 6. But, if you look at the standings, you've got the Defenders, Storm, Battlehawks, Renegades. Defenders and Storm are 4-1. Battlehawks are 4-2 because they played last night. Renegades are 3-2. And then you look at the second half of the standings. You've got 3 teams who are 2-4: the Kings, Aviators, and Gamblers. And then the Stallions are 1-4. If they win, they'll be 2-4. If they lose, they'll be 1-5. They're not going to make the playoffs at 1-5. I mean, I think we might know the 4 teams who are going to make the playoffs right now. Now, that's not a guarantee. If Dallas loses this week to DC, they'll fall to 3-3. That's only a game difference between them and any of the 2-4 teams. So it's possible they fall out and one of the 2-4 teams makes it, but there's also a decent chance that the top 4 teams at the halfway point are going to be the top 4 teams and the playoff teams at the end of the year. There's definitely a chance that happens. But the Aviators get their second win of the year 24-17 as they beat the Gamblers. The two split the season series last week and this week. But that is where I'm going to end this stream, everybody. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Ended up being a pretty good game. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Be sure to like the stream, subscribe, turn notifications. I do my best to post as often as possible. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night. We've got a lot of content on the way. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night. And I will see you guys in the next video.